Hey, Josh.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Whoop, I got my earpiece here. John took it away from me. Oh, this thing? I hate this thing. All right. Can you hear me, Josh?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Okay. Well, sir, you have been charged with the task of making everybody understand everything that Dreams does.
Perfect.
And you got to do that within what? 1 hour.
Challenge accepted. I think we can do that.
When you're done, everybody needs to be an expert on it now.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to get the heck out of your way and let you go for it. And then at 12:30, we'll take a lunch break.
All right. Perfect. Let me
Get me off the screen, John.
share my screen here. And can someone confirm that you can see my presentation?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, perfect. All right, so my name is Josh Arras. I'm here with Dreams to help you better understand everything that the platform offers to you as a real estate investor. So as Ron said, we got about an hour together. As I go through this, kind of how this is going to work is I've got some slides here in a presentation that I want to show you just to kind of walk through all of the different tools, because Dreams really is an all-in-one platform. As Ron said, it's got your website, your phone number, all of your contacts will be managed in there, and there is a VA management aspect to it as well. So you can actually see how many hours your VAs are using, how many leads and PI sheets have been filled out. So it's really cool, and it really is all the tools you need to run your business in one. So as I'm going through this, if you have questions, make sure you write them down, and I'd love to answer any questions that you have at the end of this. And Ron or anyone else, if you guys have any, if you guys want to interject at any point during this presentation, feel free to jump in. So I've been on for about 45 minutes, and I was listening to the previous presentation. And there's a couple things that I want to specifically show you that Pam and Ron were talking about. So before we jump into this, I know Ron really is big on setting up systems, putting your business on autopilot as much as you can. And he's kind of said it before, and I was actually laughing out loud. Obviously, nobody could hear me, but when he said, why do humans always want to try to change things that work? And it's hilarious because we get the same types of questions about Dreams. We've gone out and we know there are a lot of different tools out there in the market that real estate investors use. And the problem is you've got all these different tools that you might be using, and you kind of got them duct taped together, and they break all the time. And all of a sudden you're taken away from being a real estate investor and you're thrust into like the IT business. And now you have to figure out why when someone calls Pat Live, you're not receiving that information properly. Or when somebody fills out a form on your website, you're not getting notified, and it becomes a big mess. And leads start slipping through the cracks. And in this business, a lead, if you miss a lead and you miss a deal, that could be $5, $10, $15, $20,000, right? So Dreams really helps you build an airtight system, and it helps you put your business on autopilot so you can focus on the things that are most important. And it's used by investors all across the country. We've got over 4,000 investor websites that are being used across the country. And this slide's a little old, so it's definitely more than this, but 4.1 million contacts under management. That just means how many leads have been generated. And then 1.2 million properties that have been analyzed. And so I'm just going to jump right into all of the different tools that you have access to inside of the Dreams platform. And then again, if you got questions, please jot them down. So the first is lead capture websites. So our websites, the websites in the Dream system are pre-built. The templates are pre-built. We've done a lot of work and a lot of testing to make sure that these websites really are built for conversion. And what I mean by that, is this isn't just like a pretty website that that you can feel good about. They do look good, and they are built with they are built to present a professional, to present you as a professional, but it needs to actually function as a sales tool. So when somebody comes to your website, they need to know exactly what you do, the service you offer, and it needs to be easy for that person to give you their information or contact you so they can actually turn into a lead. So these websites are built for conversion first. They look great on any type of device. Most people that visit your website are doing so now on a mobile device. So it's really important that it's easy to use and it looks good on mobile. And these websites do that. Best part is they're super easy to set up. You can set them up with literally a couple clicks of a mouse, but I know that your virtual assistant, if you're using the VA services, they actually set this up for you, which is even better, right? And then the website directly integrates with your contact management system. And I'm going to demo this towards the end of this call. But when a lead opts in, yeah, you get notified and you get an email, but you can also set it up where you'll get a text notification so you know immediately that you got a new lead, and that information goes directly into the contact management system inside of Dreams. So your team or your virtual assistant or whoever needs to get notified that that lead was generated gets the notification, and they can go in and they can see all of that contact information. Here's just one of our users, a testimonial from them. Said, we've run our real estate business for almost a decade now. We love the flexibility to build any automation that we want, the all-in-one platform for our marketing, and most importantly, the quality of the people behind the business. This is the best software platform out there for any small business owner. So before I was talking about contact management and why that's important, and you'll be able to see a screenshot here of the contact management system inside of Dreams. But when a lead comes in, and it doesn't matter if the lead comes in from a website or a phone number. Earlier today, Pam was talking about the importance of identifying the source of your lead. So what happens is when somebody comes through your website, the contact is automatically sourced from the source will automatically show up as coming from your website. And again, I'll demo this here in a little bit. But you'll know automatically that lead came from your website. If somebody calls the phone number from your direct mail piece, because Dreams has a phone system built in, and I'll show you that in a minute, the source will automatically be applied as coming from the phone number from your direct mail piece, as opposed to, if you're using bandit signs or, billboards or radio ads, right? So the source is automatically set, and all of your contacts live in one place. So you don't have to worry about managing your business off of spreadsheets or notepads. All of your contacts go inside of the CRM, inside of Dreams. And then you can set up automated follow-up if you're not able to get a hold of them. So William said, I love the simplicity. I love how intricate and complex it can be if you choose to use all of its capabilities. I love the step-by-step instructions, and I love that it follows up for me, because that is my weakness. So speaking of follow-up, we have something that we call workflows. So these automated workflows can be set up, and they're basically like a set of actions. So imagine when a lead calls into your phone number, the first question is, where does that call need to go to? So I heard Ron talk a lot about Pat Live. If you're sending people to Pat Live, then you can say, I want this phone call to be forwarded to Pat Live. And then I want myself or somebody on my team to get notified that I got a new phone call, so I can go and I can check the information on the sheet on the information that we get from Pat Live. That contact can then have a source applied. That contact can get a text message that sends out 5 minutes later to say, hey, thank you for your call. So you can go through and you can set up all of these automated workflows, and you can build things like drip campaigns. So if you've got a list of leads from the last 6 months that you weren't able to contact for whatever reason, you could put them on an automated follow-up campaign that will send them text messages and ringless voicemails and emails on autopilot. And then when they're ready to sell their house, they actually reach out to you. So it's a complete shift, right? A lot of times you're going and you're calling on sellers. They're calling you from direct mail, and maybe they're telling you no. Like I saw that funnel that Pam showed before, which is, by the way, incredible how many leads you guys are managing over there. But obviously every lead that calls in is not ready to sell their house right away. So what happens if they tell you no, or what happens if they don't answer the phone after 2 or 3 or 4 tries? You could put them on an automated follow-up campaign, and things change, right? Situations change. I know Ron talks about this. Today they might not be super motivated to sell, but 3 months from now or 6 months from now, something might change. Maybe they get a tax bill, a tenant, puts their foot through the drywall for the third time, and they're just fed up with it. Whatever the reason is, whatever the motivation shift is, if you're following up with them, you're much more likely to get a call back. And that person's going to be much more motivated to talk and much more motivated to receive an offer. So here's actually a screenshot from one of our users that uses the Dream platform, and she was asking who has implemented the 52-week follow-up. So she actually puts all of her leads that aren't ready to opt in on a 1-year drip campaign, and it just sends them out messages every once in a while, and people actually reply. You can see right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I don't think you can, but you can see on these little notifications, people reply ready, and that just means they're ready to talk and they're ready to receive a message. And this is completely automated. It's on autopilot. Here's another one. This is from Cami Miles. It says, our workflows are automatically sent to all of our guests at each step of their life cycle. It's rare that our workflows are, unless a guest asks something outside of the ordinary, which is rare, our workflows run the daily business of communications with our guests. Now, she does Airbnbs, which is, probably a little off topic. I don't know if anybody's running Airbnbs, but the reason I like this case study and this use case is because you can really systemize any part of your business. And it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. It doesn't matter what type of real estate you do. There's processes and systems in your business that need to be automated, so you don't have to manually do them every time. She said, before these kinds of workflows, I was harnessed to my phone and even stressed out taking a nap. Pretty cool. Let's talk about the phone system inside of Dreams for a little bit. So the phone system allows you to track all of your campaigns. Again, imagine having, if you're sending out direct mail to a couple different types of lists, or maybe you've got, you're doing bandit signs, you're doing direct mail, and you're doing radio ads. I'm just using that as an example, right? You might have three different places where people could hear your message, see your marketing, and give you a call. Wouldn't it be nice to know, if you're spending money on all three of those different lead sources, wouldn't it be nice to know, number one, which lead source is producing the most amount of leads? But more importantly, number two, which lead source is actually producing the highest quality leads? Because just because a lead source is bringing in a lot of phone calls doesn't necessarily mean that those phone calls are converting to actual, offers and deals, right? And so, as I mentioned before, when somebody calls in, and I'm going to have you guys call into a demo number that we've got, and I'll show you how this works. But when somebody calls in, based on where that phone number is being used, the system will automatically apply a source to that lead. So you'll know, did this lead come from direct mail? Did it come from my radio ads, or did it come from my bandit signs? And so then when that deal closes, you can go and you can look back and say, oh, this deal came from my direct mail piece, right? And then you can look back over the course of a month, or the course of a quarter, or the course of a year, and say, all right, I've closed 24 deals. And you can go look at all 24 of those deals, and you can see where all the leads came from. And you might find that 18 of those came from direct mail. And now I got to do quick math. 2 of them came from bandit signs, and 4 of them came from radio ads. But you're actually spending more money on radio ads than you are direct mail. So now you can look at it and say, I wonder what would happen if I reallocated some of my marketing budget and took it from radio to doubling down on direct mail, because that's where most of my deals are actually coming from, even though I'm spending more money over here. And this type of stuff happens all the time. Most business owners just aren't aware of it because they don't have a system in place to track all the leads. The beautiful thing about this is, once it's set up, it just works. You don't have to go in and tinker with it every week. Once you set it up, it just works every time. Every time somebody calls in, they go through this particular sequence. And this is kind of just on the right-hand side here, this is kind of just a visual representation of what one of these call flows is. So somebody calls in, a tag and a source is applied. If they're a first-time caller, maybe they go to a voicemail greeting. If they're a repeat caller, maybe the call is forwarded to, your cell phone or Pat Live or something like that, right? So, you can You can send them directly to a 24-hour recorded message, or you could send them directly to somebody to answer the phone, like Pat Live or yourself or someone in your office. And the really cool part about it is I know that some people have concern with outsourcing their call answering because they're concerned about the quality. Every single call that comes in through the phone system of Dreams is automatically recorded. So you can go in and you can listen back to these calls. If maybe somebody says, hey, you know, that person that answered the phone was really rude, or hey, that person that answered the phone didn't give me the information that I was looking for. You can go back and you can listen to those calls, or you can just listen to them every once in a while just to make sure the quality that you expect is actually there. And so that's really cool. And again, it happens automatically. You don't have to even think about it. When you set up a phone number, or when a phone number is set up for you inside of Dreams, there's just a little box you click that says, hey, record every single call. That call is recorded and it automatically logs inside of the contact in your Dreams system, which is really awesome. So here's just a couple of people that have some things to say about the phone system. So this I thought was really interesting because this is a woman out of Dallas. She's in Dallas, Texas. And this is a conversation that was happening inside of the Dreams platform. This is just a screenshot that she put on Facebook, but a text message was automatically sent that said, you know, hey, thank you for contacting us. We'll give you a call as soon as possible. And that just says Sally with Matchmaker Homes. She called that seller, and I know this because I reached out and was asking her. She called that seller and had a conversation with her. The person wasn't necessarily ready to sell. But then what ended up happening, you can see there's a live call in between. What ended up happening is the person, something happened. I don't know exactly what, but something happened to change her motivation, and text messages were going out in between just to follow up, even though they weren't ready to sell right away. And then the person requested a call, and she said, I'll call you back ASAP. And this little thing this little message that's circled here in green, it says no rush. And I have to say, you are the most responsive person I've ever worked with. And the reason I like bringing this particular case study up is because a lot of times, investors think that you're actually that you're pestering and you're a nuisance to these sellers. When in fact, if you do it right, you're actually providing good customer service. You're following up and you're being thorough. And most people just don't do that, right? They don't follow up on what they say they're going to do. They don't follow up when they say they're going to do it. And people appreciate that, especially people that have some motivation. Maybe they don't need to sell right now, but they appreciate the follow-up if it's done well, right? If you're just being annoying and every day you send a text message that says, hey, do you want to sell today? Hey, do you want to sell today? Hey, do you want to sell today? Then yeah, that may become a nuisance. But if you just send a nice friendly text message or email every couple weeks, or even once a month, or just a few times a quarter, people appreciate that. And when they need to sell or when they want to sell, you're one of the first people they're going to call. They're not going to pick up a postcard that they get in the mail and call some random person they've never talked to. They're going to call you. You're going to get a chance at that deal. And what's really nice is there is a mobile app as well that you can download. So you can manage your entire business directly from your mobile device. Anytime you get a phone call, anytime you get an incoming text message, you can manage it directly from the mobile device. So from your mobile device, and it works a lot like, any of these messaging platforms that you might have, whether it be Facebook Messenger or WeChat or anything like that. You download the app. It's just called Profit Dial, which is the name of the phone system inside of Dreams. You download the app and you log in, and automatically all of your contacts are right there in the app. You don't have to do anything else. So you have quick access to all of your contacts on the go. You can manage inbound and outbound calls. There's, like I said, there's two-way texting. So you can actually have conversations with people when they reply to your text message. And all of that information is automatically logged inside the contact record. And then you can disposition the leads with smart follow-up. And what I mean by that is when you hang up the phone, if they're not ready to sell, you can actually, there's a screen that will pop up to say, hey, what do you want to do next? And you can trigger a long-term drip campaign. You can add notes. You can create tasks directly from that screen. So it's really seamless and it's easy to use while you're out in the field and you don't have your computer. So here's just a couple testimonials from folks that are using the mobile app, and for some reason everything is hidden behind this one. So we'll just advance through here. Sorry about that. But the mobile app is great, and a lot of the Dreams users are using it, and it really helps you manage your business while you're on the go. So there's also property analysis tools built in as well, which allows you to easily analyze your properties all in one place. So you can be sure that you are only buying deals that makes the most sense for you, and you can actually create reports. You can add comps if you want. You can run different reports based on different purchasing assumptions. So if you're gonna keep it as a rental, if you're gonna do a straight up fix and flip or a wholesale deal, or if you're gonna keep it as a lease option property, you can run different reports, and it's gonna spit out different cash flow analysis reports based on if you keep it for 10 years or 20 years or 5 years, or if it's going to be a lease option or a traditional rental. So you do have property analysis tools built in as well. Now, one thing that Ron mentioned earlier, Ron and Pam were both talking about the importance of delegating tasks and being able to slowly, kind of piece by piece, remove yourself from the business. Now, this is not something that you're just going to be able to do one day and say, hey, all of a sudden I've got, all of these tasks I used to do, I just hand off to one person. It doesn't work that way. It takes time, but when you have a system like Dreams in place, it's easier to assign tasks to a member of your team, and it's easier to now, if you bring on an acquisitions manager, like Ron brought that up earlier, talking about, maybe after you're doing this for 3, 6, 9 months, you're getting a lot of leads, you're going on a lot of appointments, and now you need to bring in an acquisition manager. Without a system in place, it's really hard to manage that person and assign tasks and have transparency into what they're doing every day. So with the team and task manager that's built inside of Dreams, you can add your acquisition manager or whoever it might be as a user, and then you can see what they're doing every day. You can see, what appointments are going on. You can see what tasks they're completing. You can see what phone calls are being made. You can see what, on those phone calls, what type of notes they're taking with the contact. If you needed to listen in on a call for whatever reason, you could do that because all the calls are being recorded. Each member of your team would get their own phone number. So it's a lot easier to build a team when you've got a system like this in place, as opposed to just running things off of spreadsheets and notepads, or using a Frankenstein system. Where you've got, a CRM over here and a website over here and a phone system over here. It becomes really difficult. So the team and task manager is really nice to have. Lars is a longtime user, and he said it's a must-have resource for anyone wanting one system to manage their real estate business. Everything you need is there. I've used it for several years, and I still find new things that I can use. Thanks, Damon, for putting together such a great team to create such a great product. So that's the team and task manager. So finally, there's a couple more here, but the property marketing engine is a big one, because as you go through the deal, obviously everybody's really, really focused on acquiring talking to sellers, making offers, and getting offers accepted, right? And that's super important because the everything basically hinges in this business on your ability to buy properties at a discount, because as people say, you make your money in real estate on the buy, but you still need to disposition that property. You still need to sell that property or get that property rented or put a tenant buyer in place. And the Dreams platform has all of the property marketing built in. So as you're working through the deal and the offer is accepted, there is a whole suite of property marketing tools that you can use to market your property, to build a single property website. You can create property flyers. You can build a buyer's list or a tenant buyer's list. So if you're focusing on lease option and you need to find tenant buyers for your properties, you can build a waiting list of potential tenant buyers. And then anytime you get a new property that's available, you just send an email blast and a text blast out to your tenant buyers list, and people will start to apply for that property, right? And so now, instead of starting from scratch every time you get a deal, you've got a kind of a compounding effect, because after you do this for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, now all of a sudden you've got hundreds, if not thousands of people on a buyer's list or a tenant buyer's list, and they're just ready and waiting for properties to become available. So it becomes a lot easier to sell your deals faster for higher spreads with less effort. So that's the property marketing tools. Ryan Moore is actually another guy from Texas, and he said, I love the single property websites and how easy they make marketing my wholesale properties. And again, this works for wholesalers, fix and flippers, folks doing lease options, folks doing traditional, building a traditional rental portfolio. It really doesn't matter what type of real estate you're doing. At the end of the day, you've got deals that you're going to have to market. Here's another one. It says, do not sleep on the features inside the marketing tab. And you can see this was, back when people actually used to go to meetups. Marcy Martinez here would print out flyers of her deals and bring them to local meetups and RIA clubs. And she would talk with a lot of cash buyers there. She'd also be able to network with a lot of lenders too, because these people know that she needs money because she's actively doing deals. Now we talked about the integrated VA dashboard, which is really cool. What this allows you to do is really get transparency into what's happening inside your account. Because the beauty of being able to use the Dreams account paired with the virtual assistant is that you don't necessarily have to go in and know how to, set all this stuff up from scratch, and you don't have to be in there, clicking the buttons and turning the dials, so to speak, every single day. Now, I encourage you to learn how to do that because, it's good to know how everything works. It doesn't mean that you have to be the one to do it, but you do get transparency into everything that's going on in your account. So you can see how many PI sheets are being filled out, how many yeses you get, how many nos you get, how many first, second, and third contacts there are, how many people are being contacted, the first time, second time, third time. You can see how many leads are being worked, how many leads have been closed, and then how many hours you have remaining and days remaining on your billing cycle. So complete transparency into what's going on inside of your account, which is awesome. And that's built directly in, and it's all automatically logged. We also have a turnkey bird dog system. All right, so if you're using bird dogs or property finders in your business, you can manage all of them inside of your Dreams account. And there's basically, you have the ability to have your bird dogs have access to your, be able to submit deals for you, add information in, upload pictures, add notes, and then you have the ability to accept or reject those deals, and you can actually message back and forth. It's just like a little portal, and it makes it easier for you to manage your bird dogs, and they can submit deals for you. And they can see if the deal is accepted or rejected, and if it was rejected, you can send back a reason why it was rejected and maybe ask for more information or something like that. So here's a case study testimonial from David Gamble, and he said, I followed everything you guys did step by step. This was from a training, I think, that he attended to find property finders, and I've picked up 7 property finders today alone, and that's only from one posting on Craigslist last night. So the bird dog system is really nice. Now, finally, we talked about the importance of tracking all of your leads. And if you are doing any type of online marketing, there's something inside of Dreams called campaign tracking links that allow you to basically create unique links that you can use across different marketing channels. So if you're doing pay-per-click marketing on Bing and Google, and maybe you're running some Facebook ads, or maybe you're just doing organic posts on Facebook and LinkedIn. You might just be doing you might just be posting every day on your Facebook page and you're just saying, maybe it's a picture of you out front of a property that you just bought, and you might be trying to find tenant buyers for it, or you might just be, telling your network what you do and reinforcing the fact that you buy properties in your local market. And, investors that do that end up getting a lot of leads from Facebook and from LinkedIn and from different online channels. So wouldn't it be nice to know what online channels are bringing you your best leads? All of that is available to you inside of the Dreams platform. Now, as I go through this, you might be saying, well, I don't really do a whole lot of online marketing, or, I've only got one offline marketing channel, and that's direct mail. Now, the chances of you needing every single tool that Dreams offers is probably slim to none, and that's okay. Most real estate investors don't need everything that Dreams does today, or they might not need it, ever. Maybe you don't use bird dogs, for example, in your business. That's completely fine. The expectation is not for you to, you don't have to use 100% of the tool to get the value. Even if you're using 25 to 30% of the tool, there's a couple things that you're using and you're using them really well, and it helps you track and manage your leads and it helps you close more deals. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how much you're using today. If it's helping you, then it's worth the time and the investment to use the platform. And the beauty of it is, that you'll never outgrow it, because there's so many tools that is built into Dreams, that if you one day say, you know what, I am going to go do, Google pay-per-click ads. Well, we've got all the tools you need to manage those campaigns. Even if you're not doing it today, there's tools that you can grow into. Here is a testimony from Lori Cook, and she took a screenshot and said, just posted my ad about an hour ago and have 11 clicks and 4 web form submissions already. And so again, you get complete transparency into how many people are actually clicking on that link and viewing your landing page or your website, and how many leads you're generating, which is really nice. There is also a Facebook ads integration. So if anybody is running Facebook ads, Dreams directly integrates with Facebook lead ads, which basically means if you're running Facebook ads and you're using Facebook lead ads and somebody opts in, it functions the same way as if somebody were to go to your website and fill out a web form. That lead goes directly into your CRM, and you can trigger all of the automated follow-up that you want. So automated text messages, people on your team getting notified, that's a direct integration, and that's really easy to set up. If anybody is using Facebook and wants to see kind of how this works, feel free to drop a question in the comments, and if we have time, I'd be happy to show it to you towards the end of this presentation. Here is a testimonial from Alex Van Brooklyn. He just says, and just like that, I'm up and running with Facebook, with a Facebook lead ad in place. This was way too easy. Thank you. And here is a big crazy screenshot, which is going to be hard to see, but this is a Dreams user that basically went in and started running Facebook ads, and they were generating leads within 48 hours. And all of those leads, again, get dumped directly into the CRM, which is nice. So one last quick case study here that I want to talk about, and then we're going to go through and do some demo. So this particular user here says, I was a Podio user for almost 10 years and started using Dreams about 2 years ago. I've tried tons of other real estate software that promised an all-in-one platform, but none of them ever delivered. Finally, Dreams delivers, and then some. Dreams is the perfect tool for our business because it allows us to manage our main business all in one place. This is the central hub for our website, lead generation, contact management, deal analysis, tasks, emails, phone systems, and additional team members. So, it really does help you. It's like a business in a box. Brian said, I've been using CRMs for multiple businesses since inception, and by far the coolest with the most possibilities are the functions and usability every day that this software offers. And here's just a couple more testimonials. Here's one that talks about the importance of follow-up. This says, I triggered my long-term flow on my old leads a couple weeks ago and just contracted a sub 2 deal. So these were from leads that were kind of just abandoned, forgot about, never followed up with. This individual built a long-term drip campaign with emails and text messages, and people started responding to those, and they were able to close deals from leads that they had just thought were dead. People do reply. People do reply to those text messages. And just here's a couple more. But I want to make sure that we're able to actually demo this and show you some of the cool stuff. So what I want to do right now is, if you're on the call, if you'd like to kind of see how this works, if you text demo to 904-800-4728, and I'm going to do it too. So again, you're gonna text demo to this phone number, and you're going to get a text message immediately that says, thank you for your time today. Imagine being able to send a text message like this anytime a seller texts a keyword from your mailer. So an example of this would be, again, if you're sending out direct mail, or maybe you're doing bandit signs, or really anywhere that you can that you can advertise a phone number. Some people are going to be more willing to text you than they are to call you. And so you can put on a mail piece, or anywhere for that matter, it says, text cash to this phone number, and somebody can text in, and now that becomes a lead. The same way as if they were to call in, that lead goes directly into your system. And now you're able to follow up and have a conversation via text message. Obviously, you want to try to get them on the phone as soon as possible. So I would manually reply to this in my Profit Dial app and just say, something along the lines of, "Hey, just got notified that you're interested in receiving a cash offer. Can we hop on the phone, real quick?" Basically, as soon as you can get them on the phone, the faster you can get them on the phone, the more likely it is for you to actually qualify that lead and get them an offer in place. So that's if somebody texts in. What happens if somebody calls in to your mailer? So if a few of you on this call could call in, I believe what you're going to hear is just a kind of an automated recording. But this phone call could be sent to Pat Library. It could be sent directly to your cell phone. For this demonstration, we're just sending it directly to a pre-recorded message. But I want to show you what happens on the back end. So if this was your marketing phone number here, if this was your Dreams account, I want to show you what it would actually look like and how you'd manage your leads and how you'd see the effectiveness of your campaigns. So if you guys could call into that phone number, again, 904-800-4728, that'd be great. And then I can get into the back end of the system here and demo this. Now this is the end of the presentation that I have, but again, I'd like to spend the rest of the time showing you the tool and answering questions. So Nick, before I jump in, do we have any questions that we should address now, or do you want me to jump right into the demo?
We got plenty of questions, so it's up to you.
We can take a couple.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump out of here. All right, do we want to go through a couple questions?
All right. Fernando asks, Dreams hosts the URL. Do you have the ability to create personalized emails with your
Yes.
domain?
That's a good question. So while Dreams hosts the domain name and it hosts the website, we recommend you use G Suite, which is Google's business email. I don't know, Ron, if you guys recommend any other service. There's obviously a couple different ones that you could use, but you wouldn't get your business email inside of the Dreams platform. You would go to like G Suite, and I think it's like $5 a month, and you can get a business email set up that would be like Fernando at jaxhomebuyers.com or whatever. It's really easy to set up. They've got they basically walk you through the entire process.
Okay. Jay Brandon asks, can I link my already existing website with a existing CRM and send my web-generated leads into Dreams?
Most likely. So you're not going to be able to necessarily quote unquote link your your existing website, but when I demo the websites, I'll show you kind of how this works. But you can take a web form, a Dreams web form, and you can embed it on your existing website if you know how to do that. And so what that'll basically do is you could keep your existing website the way it is, and you just use the Dreams web forms, because the web form is really what captures the lead and triggers the workflow and sends the lead directly to the CRM. So as long as you have the ability to embed a web form on your website, then you'd be able to use your existing website.
James asks, can I download the data from Dreams into Excel?
Yep. Yeah. Your contacts can be exported at any time.
And similarly, can we import leads from Excel into Dreams?
Yep. Yeah. You can import any type of CSV file directly into Dreams. So if you've got your existing database in another CRM like Podio, or if you are running your business off of Excel right now, you can very easily just upload all of that data, all of those contacts directly to Dreams.
Do we get a phone number when we sign up for Dreams?
Yep. Yeah. So you can, depending on depending on, how many you need, right? Typically, we recommend that you have multiple phone numbers, and I'm going to show you why here in a second. But yes, you can set up basically as many phone numbers as you need. Now, if you, depending on how many phone numbers are allowed in the plan, you may have to purchase phone numbers a la carte, but I think they're like $5 a month. But you should be able to get a few phone numbers set up right out of the box. It's really easy to do, and that's going to be part of the demo. So yes, you will get a phone number, multiple phone numbers hopefully, and then all of those can be forwarded wherever you want them to go. So again, whoever's responsible for answering those calls and taking those seller calls can still get them, but you're using your marketing phone numbers, we call them call tracking phone numbers, on your different marketing pieces, and then those calls are then routed to, Pat Live or to your own cell phone or wherever.
Ferris asks, how many users can we add to the system? So we have
Nick, I don't know if is
yeah,
Nick
we have
available?
Nick is in a meeting, so this is John here. I know we have the higher level where we can add additional users.
Yeah, I want to say it's 10.
Okay, so we're not 100% sure. We'll ask Nick when he gets back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 10. And 10 phone numbers as well. Is if that's the case, you'd also be able to have 10 phone numbers. Any other questions?
A lot of people
Why
just
don't,
want to see how the Facebook integration works.
Okay, cool. Well, why don't we get into the demo here, and then if there's other questions that pop up as you kind of see how this works, then feel free to drop those in. Drop those in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer those. So I think we got about another 20 or 30 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, cool. All right. So what you're seeing right now is the dashboard when you log into your Dreams account. So this is this is just a demo account. So I don't really have any virtual assistants working inside of here, but you'd be able to see all your information with PI sheet, contacts, leads, how many hours you have remaining, number of days you have to your next billing cycle. And then you'd be able to easily access your websites, all of your tasks, all of your new leads will be in here as well. And then here's your property pipeline. So let's first go in and take a look at, since I had you guys text in and call in, let's take a look at what that looks like. So if we go to marketing and we go to inbox, we can see today is January 21st. And I just got all of these phone calls. So if I click on one of them, you can see they came from my, this profit dial number, and for whatever reason it's named buyer line, but this would be a seller phone number. And you can see the call duration. If somebody left a voicemail, you can listen to the voicemail. So I'm just going to jump inside of here. Now I want to point something out. You'll notice that there's no name here associated with the contact. So there's no like caller ID or anything like that. A lead is automatically created inside the system. So it's really nice because regardless if you're there to answer the call or not, a lead is still created, and I can go in and view it. And you can see that since the call was missed, a text message went out automatically. It said, "Sorry, I missed your call. Is this in regards to selling a property?" And then it just says, this is just we kind of put this in there just to be fun, but automated follow-up, never miss a lead, powered by Dreams. So whoever called in, whoever's phone number this is, would have received that text message. And so you can also see that the source of the lead was the virtual summit. So I went in before this call and made sure that I had the source assigned because I knew I was going to be using this phone number on a call to action during a virtual summit, right? So you would probably, your source would probably be direct mail or bandit sign or radio ad or billboard or something like that. But now I could go and I could run a report and say, hey, how many leads did I get from that presentation I did on my virtual summit? You can also see tags were assigned. So tags are just a kind of a more granular way of tracking your leads. So, this is a seller lead. It came from a demo call, and this was a call that came in from the demo. So these are just tags. And again, these are automatically assigned when somebody calls in because I've got a call flow set up. And I'll show you that call flow here in a second. But this entire everything is completely logged here. Okay. So if I go back to my inbox, I can go in and I can see how many calls I got. And you can see I got a bunch. So going back to right here. So these are all the calls that came in. And again, if I wanted to listen to the voicemail, I could listen to the voicemail directly inside of here. And if I wanted to go in and call this person back, I could just click on their phone number. And if I click call now, it's actually going to call through my cell phone. All right, that I've got set up. And the call is set to record. So let's talk about setting up a new phone number real quick. So if we were going to go do direct mail. So if you're getting into Dreams for the first time and you're going to do direct mail, and I wanted to set up a new phone number, I'm going to go into System Settings, and I'm going to click so you can see all the phone numbers I have right here. I'm going to click on Add New. I'm going to go to Business Line, and I'm going to do a local phone number, and I'm in St. Louis, so we're 314. So I'm going to put in the area code, and then I like to try to find phone numbers with like 3 zeros or 3 5s or 3 4s, and sometimes they're really hard to find, but let's see, 820-0069, 500-0225. So I mean, it really doesn't matter. This is just for demonstration, but you can grab a marketing number here. So we're going to click Use Selected Number, and we're going to call this Probate Direct Mail. Maybe we're going to use this phone number for our probate direct mail campaign. So I can set up a call flow. If I've got one already set up, then I can just use that one. I'd probably use seller postcard, but I want to set one up just so you can see what a call flow does. So I'm going to click Create New Call Flow. And what you're basically doing is you're setting the rules for anyone that calls into this phone number. So we're going to call this Probate Direct Mail. I'm just going to say demo. And then you're saying, what do I want to happen when somebody calls into this number? Well, I want this number to automatically forward to my Pat Live, to my Pat Live call answering service. And so Pat Live is going to provide you with a number, and I'm just going to, type in a random number here. But Pat Live will give you a number, and you're going to put that number there. And you can say, this doesn't matter as much for Pat Live, but I want to explain this real quick if you're forwarding to your existing cell phone. And I realize this might be kind of small. Sorry, guys. Let me blow this up a little bit. So what this is saying is when the call is being forwarded, which phone number should I display on the caller ID? So this would be the caller ID on your phone. So it's saying, hey, you're receiving a phone call from this number. So I like to suggest that you use, if you're forwarding calls to your own cell phone, I like to suggest that you use the profit dial number that was called, because then that marketing number that we just got, I would save that in my phone as, probate mailer lead. And so then anytime I get a phone call, I know that is a phone call, that's a seller that's calling me. Because if not, it's just going to show up as, a random person. And I don't know about you, but last week I got like 35 phone calls from different phone numbers, all trying to scam me and get my Apple ID for whatever reason. But it's really tough to say, is this a seller call? Is this a business call? Or is this somebody that's, trying to call me to sell me something or whatever? So I like to use the profit dial number that was called, and then that will show up. You can save it in your phone as, probate mailer lead. And so you know how to answer that call and you know what to expect. And then you can add, this is getting a little bit more advanced. So I'll just explain this real quick, but we're not going to go into super detail unless you have detailed questions about it. But there's something called forward branching, and it basically just allows you to set rules for if the call is answered or not answered. So if the call is not answered, then you might send them to voicemail, and you would record a voicemail just like you normally would, right? And say, hey, this is Josh with STL Home Buyers. Sorry I missed your call. If this is about a property you have for sale, please leave a detailed message and we'll get back to you shortly. So you would just choose a recording, add that in there, and then somebody can leave a voicemail. So that is a call flow. Again, basically what you're doing is you're just setting rules to say, what do I want to happen when somebody calls in? Now, one more point here that I want to make is, let's say for whatever reason you decide to stop using Pat Live and you hire somebody internally. And I'm not necessarily suggesting that, but let's just say you decide that to stop using Pat Live, and you decide that you're going to, hire somebody to sit in your office and answer calls all day, or you forward all of your calls to your newly hired acquisition manager. If you weren't using a system like Dreams and the phone system inside of Dreams, now you'd have like Pat Live's phone number on your marketing pieces or your cell phone on your marketing pieces, and it would be really difficult to change where those leads go, because your phone number, Pat Live's phone number, is the one that's actually printed on the mailers. So that's one big reason why we recommend that you don't put your cell phone number or Pat Live's phone number on your mail pieces, because now all you'd have to do is change this phone number from the Pat Live phone number to the phone number of your acquisition manager. Okay. Then you click save and close, and then it's just going to ask you to set up the tracking. And this is really important. Again, Pam and Ron talked about this earlier. This is really important because you need to know where your leads are coming from. So we're just going to say that this is a seller lead, and this is the tag, and the source is direct mail. So then I might also say seller lead probate, so that I know it's a probate lead. Okay, so now anyone that calls in, we already know what's going to happen because we set up the call flow, and then the tracking is automatically placed. So they're going to be tagged seller lead and seller lead dash probate, and the source is going to be applied to direct mail. Click done. And then the last step is to just enable. Sorry, I realize I'm clicking fast. This is the phone number we just set up here. As you can see, the last step here is to just enable call recording. So I want calls to be recorded for inbound and outbound. I'm gonna click save changes. And now my phone number is set up, and it's that easy. And then you would basically do the same thing if you're gonna go do, if you're gonna use a phone number for bandit signs, same process. But the beautiful thing is you could use the same call flow if you wanted to, because all the tracking is done, at the phone number level. So that is your phone system. Now, I realize I also asked you guys to text in. So let's go look in our Profit Dial inbox and let's look at text messages. So you can see I've got a bunch of people that text in demo. So this person says like demo, and it says, thank you for your time today. Imagine being able to send a text message like this, right? And then some other text messages were sent. This would have been delayed, right? So we would delay this a day typically, but since it's a demo, we just want to show how multiple text messages could be sent. It says, I'm online, I'm on live stream training, just testing the system. So imagine this person said like, hey, yeah, I am interested in selling my house. When can we chat? And I could just text them back and say, how about today at 2 p.m.? What is the address of the property so I can, prepare your offer? And now I'm engaging with this person in a text message. And you can also do the same thing on the mobile app. So you don't have to be sitting at your desktop. You can use the mobile app to do it as well. But you can see I captured all of these leads automatically. So every day you could be capturing leads that are texting you. And if you don't have a system in place, you might not actually be able to capture that lead. So if I jump inside of this contact record now, I can see that, again, this lead came from the virtual summit. This is their phone number. You can see the text thread that has been going on. All the tags are automatically applied. If I wanted to go in and add their information, I can do that real easily after I talk to them, save the profile, and we're good to go. So that is the phone system. So let's just stop real quick. If we have specific questions about the phone system, I'd be happy to answer those. If not, I want to show you how the websites work and what happens when somebody comes to your website and opts in. Do you have any specific questions about phone system?
Sorry, Josh. We'll come back to you in just a minute with questions.
Okay, cool. No worries. So I'm going to jump to the websites. real quick, because that's another common way that you're going to generate leads. People, going to your website and opting in. So first of all, let's take a look at what the websites look like. So this is a demo account. So I've got a bunch of websites set up, but you're probably not going to have 6 websites set up. But I've got this one set up here. And I've pre-populated it with the name of my company, the market that we're in, and then all of my information. And so if I jump into, I don't actually know if this is going to work because I just set it up this morning. Usually takes about 24 hours or so for the domain name to actually, okay, so it did, perfect. So we can see here that this is the website basically out of the box. I've done virtually nothing to update the style, right? All I did was added over here was added my company name and my market, city, and state, and all of that information automatically merges in. Now, if you want to get in, change the colors around, add your logo, maybe swap the image out for a house that, is probably more representative of something in your market, then you can do that. And it's very easy to do. I'll show you how to do it. You can add more web forms and things like that. But from a functionality standpoint, this thing is basically ready to go. It's ready to use. And so if I go here and I say, I'm a seller and I'm interested in selling my house, and I throw in my information here. Click get my offer today. Actually, let's use a different number because I know my actual number is already in there. Click get my offer today. Then a little thank you pops up, and you can, this is all editable as well if you'd like. But what happens is you will get notified that you have a new lead. You or anyone on your team that needs to receive a text message will receive a text message to say, hey, you just got a lead. And what that will allow you to do is respond to this person immediately. Because the faster you can respond to your leads, the more likely you are to actually turn that lead into an appointment and make an offer and close that deal. But if I wanted to see this information, I could see the contact, the lead that was generated. I could see the property information, and you can see here that we've got the name, the email, the phone number. Let's see, I think it's going to take a minute. Oh, you know what? So this will be a opportunity to demo something. I think I forgot to add a workflow to this web form. So this will answer, I forget whose question it was, I apologize, but somebody was asking if they could use the Dream system with their existing website. So what we've got is the ability to generate web forms, and these web forms can be used on your Dreams websites, but if you wanted to use them on a third-party website, you could. So this is the web form builder. And you can see you can add a bunch of custom fields. It's all drag and drop, very easy to do. You can style it different ways if you'd like. And then you can run workflows. So I forgot to run a workflow. So again, a workflow is very, very similar to a call flow. It's just a set of actions that you want to happen when somebody opts in. So I called this seller's, here we go, seller lead virtual demo. So let's show you real quick what that workflow does. So when somebody opts into my website, they're going to be tagged as a seller lead. The source is going to be applied for website lead. They're going to receive a text message immediately that says, hey, thanks for requesting an offer on your property at 123 Main Street. We've received your information. We'll be in contact shortly. So that helps bridge the gap a little bit between between the time you generate the lead and the time that you're actually able to contact them. So they're expecting your call. So that helps increase your lead to contact ratio. And then whoever on your team that needs to get notified via text message and or email will get that text message, and this will be a link directly to the contact record. So they can click on that and they can call them directly from their mobile device. And then the contact will also receive an email as well. And there's other things you can do, like you can assign tasks. So if you wanted to assign a task for somebody on your team, call back website lead ASAP. You could add a little description. You could assign it to whoever you want on your team. So if you have team members, you can assign it to a team member. This is going to be a phone call, high priority, and 0 days just means that it's happening immediately. So the task is going to be assigned right away. So if I scroll up, click save and close. And then if I try this again, let's go and refresh the page here. And I'm just going to type in a different address. And then we'll do a random phone number. Click get my offer. All right. Now if we go back here and refresh the page, we can now see that we've got 2 leads. And if I click on this lead, it usually takes a minute for all of the source and everything to apply. But what's going to happen is the source will be applied, all of the tags will automatically be applied, text messages, anything like that are going to go out. You can see the flow that's set to go out is that seller lead virtual demo. If I wanted to see, the next scheduled step, the next scheduled step is that tags are going to be applied. So again, it usually takes about a minute for these actions to happen. But the beautiful thing about it is, again, like I said earlier in this presentation, is you set it up once, and then you don't have to go and play around with it every week or every month. Once you set it up, it just works every time. Every time somebody calls that phone number, those actions happen. The right person gets the phone call. The right tasks are assigned to the right people on your team. Every time somebody opts into your website, they're receiving an automated text message and email confirmation. The person on your team that needs to be notified is automatically notified. Tasks are being assigned automatically, and it just works every single time. So with that, I want to open it up for questions again and see if there's any specific questions. You guys there? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Josh. We were just talking. What? You ready for questions?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second here.
All good. No problem.
Okay, our first question is from George. Do you get all the features of Dreams at the $59 level or only the $297, $697?
I can answer that, Josh. You
Okay.
don't get Dreams at the $59 level. You have to be at least a $297 to get it and the website.
And then the next part of his question, what happens if you throttle your membership, like you go on a long vacation and you want to pause? Does it affect
Wanna
the
answer
Dreams
that next?
performance?
Yeah, first, I would recommend not pausing it.
Yeah.
I mean, let the system work for you while you're on vacation.
Yeah.
But if you did want to, downgrade to the $59 level, you're allowed to do that at any time. The only problem with that is your website will come down. Your data will still be there when you come back, but your website, in the meantime, while you have the month or two that you're on vacation, you won't be getting any leads, and I wouldn't recommend it.
The website will be shut off. It really don't come down.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, one thing I know, I know a fair amount of investors that got in this business, for, to be able to go on vacation for a month or two. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what they'll do, because they have a system in place, instead of just like shutting your system down to save a couple $100 a month, they'll just, route the inbound phone calls to, somebody else in their market that they do joint venture deals with. And they'll say, hey, I'm going to be gone. I'm still going to keep my marketing on. My website's still going to be going. I generate a fair amount of leads every month. If you want to take these leads and run with them, and we'll do a revenue split, while I'm gone,
Well,
basically,
that's
right?
one way. But
And there's a
frankly,
bunch of different ways to do it. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say, like, shutting your system down is, is probably not the best idea. You can just change where those calls go if you're not going to be able to answer them.
Never shut down the buying system. It's too hard to crank it back up. Too hard to get it flowing again. Worst case, you're on vacation, so what? You're going to talk to other people on your cell phone. Why not talk to people who want to give you money, for crying out loud? Make a handful of calls while you're on vacation. What's it going to hurt?
Yep.
This question, they said that we didn't know the answer to this one. How many users can you add to your system? So we have, by default, you get one, just yourself. And then if you want, of course, your VA can also access your system. But we do have a higher level, both the $297 and $697, where you can pay $100 more, and you get a few more features like automated text messaging that Josh was showing, and the automated ringless voicemail blast. And at that level, you get 10 team members that you can include. And did you show that, Josh, on how you can completely control what they have access to and what they don't have access to?
So I'll show you how that works right now. If you go to my team, right now there's only one person, right? It's for this example, it's me, right? It's the admin, the owner of the account. But if I wanted to add somebody,
Josh, you got training videos to show how to work every piece of this thing right here on this site.
Yep.
So
yeah, correct. And so like now you've got and there would be a training video to show you how to add a new user. But this is their basic information. You'd be able to see all their user activity when they log in, when they log out, what kind of calls they're making. Are they updating contacts? Mm-hmm. But then we also you have the complete ability to turn on and off access based on what they need to do. So by default, we don't let sub users export contacts or delete contacts. They don't have access to the team permissions.
Perfect. They can't run off with all your information and go out and start their own business. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah. You can, even if you don't want them to edit a contact, you could turn that off. Right. So it really depends on what they're doing for you.
Perfect. That's good. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay. Next question.
All right. Kevin
Well,
says,
wait a minute. You didn't answer that one to my liking. The extra $100, but his question was, how many more users can I add?
it's up to 10.
Up to 10.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe you did.
Phone numbers too. So even if you only have one person that you're going to add, you might need 6 or 7 phone numbers based on the different marketing channels that you have. So you do get more phone numbers as well.
And how much are the numbers? Just part of the 100?
Yeah. As part of that extra $100, you get 10 extra phone numbers and 10 extra
Okay.
users.
Well,
But
perfect.
yep.
Perfect. All right.
All right. Yeah. And normally the numbers are, you get one included at the base level at $297 or $697, and they're $5 each for each additional one. But this includes 10
Okay.
right here in it. So.
Got it.
All right. Kevin says, is the presentation by Josh recorded for later access through the Gold Club? That's a good idea. We will pull that off and we'll put it up in the Gold Club.
Kevin, you get the gold star of the day. That's all you're going to get, the gold star. But good suggestions. So it's as good as done. In fact, we're going to do the same thing, Nick, for Don Fowler's presentation yesterday as well.
So Don's and Josh's, we'll separate out and we'll put them on the Gold
Yeah,
Club.
they're both training videos.
Yep. They'll be released with the weekly next week. So give us a week to get it all
Thank you,
pulled
Kevin.
out. All right.
So Josh,
Teresa
we're about to
says-
make you a legend, man.
All right.
Teresa says, "Wow, I didn't know Dreams did all of this."
Well, Dreams is like your cell phone. It'll do 100 times more than you know that it does. And you'll probably not live long enough to know everything that it does.
Yep.
But you just got to keep plugging. I mean, look, there's a video for every little piece of it, and it's like everything else. You just learn a little bit at a time, and probably as you use it, and you'll be amazed at what it'll do when you start going through it.
All right. Greg says, "Please explain the bird dog system for a beginner."
Explain what a bird dog is or how the system works. Probably how the system works.
Well, let me handle it. Bird dogs mean that you got other people out there looking for deals for you. Usually it's FSBO signs, but it could be vacant houses or whatever. Um, In this case, if you got Dreams, you just show the bird dog how to enter the information into Dreams, and it creates the beginning of that property information sheet right there. I mean, literally, they don't even know it, but they're creating your information within Dreams.
Yeah, so basically what would happen is in the Dream system, I believe they're called field agents. So you can manually add them, or you can send them to this page here, which is customizable. Let's see here. So you can send them to this page here where they can basically opt in to become one of your property finders or your bird dogs or your field agents, and people call them different things, but they all basically do the same thing. What happens is they then get a login, a portal that they can log into, where they can add properties, and then you can see the properties they're adding. So instead of them just like texting you or emailing you and said, hey, I found a property that I think might be a deal, it's 123 Main Street, they actually just go on and submit it. So then again, it's just you're building systems around building, because it's hard to manage 10 different property finders if you're just doing it all through email. So each one of them would actually show up as a field agent here. So I could add one just real quick.
Well, we don't have time to actually do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're right.
Can they put the photo in there as well?
Yeah, so they can add photos, they can add notes, they can add all the information about the property, if they've got it, and then it'll show up, and you'll have the you'll have that there, and you can either accept it or deny it. And if you deny it, you can say why.
Okay. And if you accept it, we pay them on PayPal. How do your folks pay them?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't handle the payment inside of Dreams.
Yeah. And it's a important thing to note is that field agents are treated different than team members. You don't have to have a team level account where you have to add 10 team members.
Good point.
You can have a limited field agents at the 297 or 697 level.
Okay. All right, we got time for one more. We got to take a lunch break.
All right. A lot of people want to see how the Facebook integration works. We won't have time to go through it, but suffice it to say, it's pretty simple. You've got Facebook lead ads where they never have to leave Facebook. So instead of driving them to a landing page that you built, it would just put a form right there on Facebook, and that information would go directly into your Dream system from Facebook without ever having to go to your own landing page.
Josh, do you have a video on that?
There is a video, yeah.
Right on the site.
Yeah, there's a video that will show you in the training library, but like Nick said, you basically will have the ability to see how many leads you're generating, and then the leads will just go directly into your CRM. So it really is just a direct integration. Somebody opts in on Facebook, the lead goes into your CRM. You don't have to try to root through your email to try to find it.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate your help today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on. Appreciate it.